All right, hey everybody. In this video, I want to cover some of the basics again, just with what a normal trading day looks like, and then also talk a little bit more specifically about how to handle a market drop and some things to look for, and potentially how to buy in on some positions. So, in any case, to start things off, you can see my account is currently at $42,259. It's been, as you can also see, kind of a relatively flat week so far. However, even though it was a flat week, there has been a lot of ups and downs with this trading week. Today was one of them. And we'll talk about that here a little bit in a second. But one thing I want to talk about is when you wake up for the day, you're getting ready to do your trading at market open. And this is something I like to do even the night before, especially if I have some plans to make some buys and sells and whatever the case is. One of the first things you have to look at is your settled cash, okay? And that's right here. That is very important. That will tell you how much funds you have available for trading that day, for example. It's always good to have a buffer there. I can tell you that I oftentimes trade with less than the half of the cash that I have as a total balance. You can kind of see that, my total market value is that $14,982. So that's, usually around what I have, which is much less than half of my, total balance in the account. And that's really just going to allow you, and you don't need to have that much, but it just allows you to have that flexibility to buy and sell and trade much more freely, especially when stocks are moving around. And another thing of kind of what I mean by that is, let's say that I want to buy 10 shares of a stock that is $10 a share. That would mean I have to have $100 to cover that buy order. So if I only have $100 settled cash, that means I can only buy 10 of those 10 shares of that stock, and I cannot then sell that same day. I have to hold on to that. If I were to try to sell that, it's going to probably give me a warning that says you do not have enough settled cash or funds to cover this transaction or sell this order. Or there may be a case where it would let you do it, but then it would also give you a warning. And if you get enough warnings, they'll lock your account, and you won't be able to trade. And, you can get out of that. But obviously, if you're in certain trades and you can't really do much, you're kind of in lockout jail at that point in time. And it can, of course, cost you some money and that sort of thing. So you always want to make sure you have enough settled cash in your account for what you plan to do that trading day. All right, so that's very important. If you can't have a lot of, settled cash or a high balance, that's fine. You just have to make smaller trades and, build up your account. I also would recommend, and this is, depending on how you want to do it, but when you have money, if you plan to use this portfolio to grow and ultimately as, say, almost like a retirement plan or a savings account, or maybe you're using it to, buy fun things with, vacations, whatever the case is, just like you treat any other account, if you have a little extra money, put it into your trading account. Continue to grow that up so that you can have a higher balance and more settled cash so that you have more freedom to make trades in and out throughout the day, for example. All right, so let's talk a little bit about today. We did have a kind of a midday crash, so to speak. So I wanted to get into that a little bit. If we just click on markets down here, it'll take us to this screen or this page, and you can see that almost right at midday, there was that crash right there. Things just really dropped down pretty rapidly, and then kind of gradually came back up, and there was kind of some ups and downs, and it actually ended up ending the day. The Nasdaq anyway ended up at 0.38% up. So, it was a little bit of a wild day. I noticed, however, that the market was dropping today just simply because I noticed my portfolio was dropping down relatively significantly. I had seen a fluctuation of, I don't even know, probably a decent, $1,000 from, say, the day before to the drop, and then when it kind of came back up. So that's just kind of what I saw. When I saw that my portfolio had been dropping, I kind of knew, hey, this is probably a market crash. Let me go look at the markets. And sure enough, they're dropping down. So that makes me think, hey, this might be a good time to look at my top buy list and see if any of my top buy stocks happen to be dropping. It's a good way to know, hey, I might want to buy in on some of those. So go back to my watch list, and you can kind of see here, these are the current positions that I have, from top earners down to the lowest for the day, basically. But I would go to my, in this case, probably like my active buys here. These are, stocks and companies that I should have already vetted and done some looking into. And by doing that, I kind of know that, hey, if any of these stocks are having a down day, I probably want to consider buying into them. So that's kind of what I did. I looked into those. I'm going to show you the two that I did pick up today. And the first one is OPTT, which is this Ocean Power Tech. They are another kind of like a clean energy company. They use waves and ocean waves and things like that for power. In any case, again, something that you guys can check out on your own by looking at their portfolio. So really the first thing, of course, we're going to do is just look at the day. I would, depending on what time of the day it is, I'll either look at the 1 minute chart or the 5 minute chart, maybe something in between. But you can really go with either one of those. Right now we're on the 10-minute chart just because it's going to show us the whole day, basically. And as you guys can see, by my positions down there, that I bought in 80 positions, okay, and pretty much right down at the very bottom. And that was when I saw things dropping and I saw the market was dropping. And you use your strategies we've already talked about. It's dropping, it's dropping, it's dropping. How, do we know when we want to buy in? And part of that is going to be also looking at previous supports. Again, so very important. So by that, I mean, let's go back and, we can look at, the last, day, the last 2 days, the last 3 days, the last 7 days. In this case, I'm going to just jump right to, the one that, helped me out. And that is the last 3 trading days, basically. So the 1 hour chart. I'll point that out so you guys know what I'm talking about. The 1 hour chart right here. And that is going to be basically the last 3 trading days, as you can see by the date down here. And then, what we're looking at is where do we see some areas of support? So if you can look here, you can see my buy-in point, again, was right at the bottom of this drop or this dip. So like everything, the market has patterns and it has areas of support. And that means that the areas of support are going to be where that stock is likely to stop dropping. It's supported at a certain level. And you guys can see pretty easily right here, there's some support levels here. So this is all kind of a support level right in this area. In this particular case, that was an area of consolidation, but that can also indicate an area of support. So I looked at that and I thought, okay, this looks like it's probably going to be a good spot to buy in. It doesn't really want to drop a whole lot past that spot right there. So that's where you come back to your, 5 minute chart, for example. But in this case, just so we can look at the whole day and I can explain it better, we'll go to the 10-minute chart. And I can line that up so that I can say, all right, I think that this is going to be a good place to buy in, again, based off that prior support. I'm going to put in a buy order, for example, at around that area. And you can kind of see, that's exactly what happened. It went down to that support level, it bounced off of it, and then it started going back up. So it takes a little getting used to. Once you guys do this a couple of times, this is my favorite way to buy into all stocks, is when it's dropping and dropping and dropping. You find that support level, you buy in. Oftentimes it can take a couple of times. So you could set that. You set a conservative stop loss. It triggers that stop loss because it went down a little bit more than you were maybe hoping or expecting, and it sold out. Well, guess what? Just, set another one. You expect it's going to go back up right in this area. Set another one and just try again. If it continues to drop, so if it drops below that last area of support, you got to hold out, you got to wait, because it's going to probably go down maybe even to the next level of support that it was at before that one, and that can be a decent drop. So if it starts going below that area of support you suspect, then you really have to kind of step back and let this and watch it a little bit. Let's look at the other one that I bought into today, and that's this FRSX. Foresight, sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing the screen here. In any case, FRSX, again, you guys can look this one up for yourselves as far as the portfolio goes, but what's more important here is, again, going to be the chart that I want to talk about. And same thing. So you can kind of see here, my position's down at the bottom. I bought into this again, right kind of at that bottom point, just really caught that bottom dip and bottom drop. And that's where I bought into this. So kind of, again, let's look back on it was the same chart in this case, which, oops, sorry, it was a 2-hour chart. We can see it there, but let's go back to the 1 hour. It's going to be a little bit more clear. But you can kind of see the same thing here, as far as, looking a couple of days back, there was, again, that level of support area right there. And then again, we had consolidation, same with the other stock, but some consolidation right here. So either way, roughly in this area, it's looking like there's going to be a support level. So chances are it's going to come down to that level. It's going to bounce off of it and go back up, but not likely it's going to drop much past that. So take a look at, you can, again, you can go back a week, you can go back, 2 weeks, you can go back 4 weeks. Going back much farther than that might not help you out a whole lot, because again, if we go to the daily, for example, that's our 3-month chart. It's continuous climb. So unless you're buying a stock that had a drop or something like that, it's just not going to apply if you go too far back. So in this case, we're looking at, the last 3 trading days or the 1 hour chart. But more than anything, that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys as far as what that can look like. And, as we've talked about in the previous videos, your, buy-in and how you treat that is still going to be the same. Make sure that, you're setting your stop losses, watch where you want to buy in. You can even set a buy order if you know where you think it's going to stop dropping. And you do that by, again, just holding your finger down on the screen here. You can hit that buy. And then place where you want that order. And if it drops down to that, you already have an order set in with all your stop losses and that sort of thing. Real quick, let's go ahead and I'll show you guys the stop loss again one more time. I do get some questions about that. So let's say, we're getting ready to buy this. This is all going to be exactly how it would be. However, it won't let us make this trade just because it's not trading hours. So you want a couple of things to note. You want this to say limit ultimately. This is really kind of the safest way to do this, but limit, and then you'll click on buy, and then you'll go down to quantity. Let's say we wanted 10 shares of that stock, and then really the next one will say good till canceled right here. These should be mostly defaults that we covered again in a prior video, and then this is, again, the most important thing, but make sure that you are setting that stop loss. So the take profit stop loss. All right, most important thing. So click on that. It's going to bring up the new screen, and it's going to show you your limit price. So that limit price is the price that you would sell that stock at. So if it climbs and it is making you money, do you want to have a target to sell at? At the very least, I always want to double my money personally. So if I was buying this stock at what it's currently at, $10.44, and it's currently setting a limit price of $10.54. Well, I mean, I don't want to sell anywhere near that. I want to sell much higher than that. So you could set it at $20. I mean, you know, in some cases, I want to just control that 100% myself. I'll just put it at $100. So if that was the case, you know, my profit in this case would be, as you can see, $895.60. All right. And then you can set the stop price. Now, this is your stop loss. This is really the most important part. This is what's going to save your butt if that stock decides to drop and continue to drop. So if my purchase price is $10.44, which you can see right there, point that out, $10.44, that's my purchase price, then I don't want to lose much money. And the other nice thing about this is it's going to tell you down here what your estimated loss is. And I'll show that. I'll point that out here in a second. But if I don't want to lose much money, I'm going to change this to what I feel comfortable with or what I feel comfortable losing. Right now, if I were to set my stop loss at $10.34, if I think, hey, I don't want it to go past that, it tells me right here, if you see, that my estimated loss would be $1 total, okay? Because I'm buying 10 shares, I'd lose 10 cents per share, which is going to total $1. Obviously, I don't mind losing quite a bit more, significantly more than $1 in this particular case. But if you wanted to change that, you can go back and, I didn't really want to take all that out. But let's just say we go, hey, I'm willing to go as far down as $10. In this case, you would never do that because that's a lot of your profit right there. But we can just kind of use that for an example. But then you can see it's going to change that, and it's going to tell you, okay, if you let it go all the way that, drop that far down, you're going to lose $4.40. All right. So it's very nice that you can kind of see that estimate down there. I usually, even when I'm buying, and I like to buy roughly around $500 per position a lot of the times. So that's usually my average position purchase. With a $500 purchase, I usually never like to lose more than about $5 to $8. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. Again, you guys can choose what you feel comfortable with, but that's usually about the point I put it at. And then from there, you would just click on buy. And of course, it's going to tell us here and give us that reminder that you cannot place orders at this moment. Trading hours are from 4 a.m. to what is that? It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in any case, that's how you guys are going to go about placing those orders and kind of what to watch for throughout your trading day. But if you happen to see a market drop, then go to your top buys, go to the ones that are having the most significant decrease in share price, and maybe think, hey, are those ones I want to buy into? So, again, like I said, I would go to my next buys, or in this case, my active buys, and go down to which ones are doing the worst. Maybe those are the ones I want to consider buying into that day. But that's really about it, guys. I hope that, again, you found this video helpful. I really wanted to just kind of try to get something quick in and cover some of that stuff for today. But if you guys have any questions or stocks you want to share that you're looking at or please leave them in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.